up to... Did you want to ask something? Yes.
I just mentioned something. I don't know if you... One of the first birthdays that are in the Torah.
It's Paro.
It's Paro's birthday.
Right.
Now, is it because you know, certain dictators give clemency to prisoners? So is it an opinion that the clemency was given to the butler, you know, indirectly? I mean, not because...
Well, obviously, this was like...
I like that.
You know, like just like when the president finishes his term of office,
Yeah.
it's like a time of reckoning.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Whenever Paro had a birthday, this was a time of reckoning. So you decide whoever was now, his fate was in abeyance.
So it's like the butler and the baker.
What?
It was like the butler and the baker. They were like due for a trial. Yeah.
That's pshat. They were due. Each one came up for his case. Came up for the Paro, for the king to adjudicate what was going to be his. And the butler was acquitted.
Right.
And the baker was.
So where did it say it was a birthday? I learnt that a long time.
Where? Which?
It says Yom Haledet.
Last week Pasha, it said it was his birthday.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Oh, I didn't know.
It actually says it was his birthday. Yeah.
Right.
Some people do not observe birthdays.
Yeah,
because the only place it says in the Torah was.
However,
my wife included, so
there's a very interesting. I think it's Rabbeinu Bachai. Rabbeinu Bachai speaks about that there's a person whose muzzle is strong on his birthday. It's the muzzle.
Yeah.
Shall we say his
luck.
I can't say his luck. Right, because it says there's a Chazal. No, it's not Chazal. Someone in Farshim says in Parshas Beshalach that Amalek came and attacked the Jewish people, and they were had to fight back against them. And it says that the Amalekites, who did they take as their soldiers? Those who had a birthday on that day. Because then their muzzle was strong. So therefore they had more of a chance of winning. So who did the Jewish people, the Yeshua, take? It's a very interesting thing, this. He took those born in Adar Sheni. Because Ein Mazel, there's only 12 constellations. And it's 13th month. So what constellation does that matter? There is Ein Mazel. So he says that is Ein Mazel be Yisrael, and therefore they had the power to overcome the Koyach HaMazel, which the Amalekites had. Okay.
Also Moshe Rabbeinu, they knew it. They really figured that it's that day he's supposed to die. They didn't make a figure that's the day he was born.
And was the Shana
Adar 7.
No, because it was the Shana Meberes he was born?
When
Adar 7.
So, yeah, 7th of Adar.
And Adar was the same day.
He showed that 7th of Adar happened...
was it Shana Muberet?
No, they made a figure. I forgot.
Okay, tell me another time. Okay.
7th of Adar happened on the 7th of Adar?
No, but he didn't know that's the day. That's the day he died. That's also the day when he was born.
Okay, it says by Homo.
Yeah, that's...
Right. Okay, now we're up to Pasuk Yud Aleph. And Baran, you already read twice yesterday, correct?
Yes.
So, okay, Mordechai, please read Pasuk Yud Aleph.
ונחל למה חלום בלילה אחד
לילה אחד
אני
והוא
איש
כפיסרוין, איש כפיסרוין חלומוי חלום.
חלומנו.
Okay. ונחלמו חלום, we dreamed a dream. בלילה אחד, on one night, אני והוא, I and he.
It's the Sarah Rashi.
Yeah, because the Sarah was right. Each man kefisron chalomo, like the interpretation of his dream, chalomnu we dream. Now, what does that mean? Each person dreamt according to the interpretation of his dream. Okay, now so Rashi's going to dwell on
that. It seems like backwards.
Means yeah. But it means
the Russian seems backwards here.
Correct.
No, but it wasn't. Dream was plain. That wasn't.
So Rashi's going to explain. That's exactly what Rashi's going to explain over here. Mordechai, would you like to read the Rashi on Pasuk Yud Aleph?
איש Tisron Chalomo, Chalom Ara'u, Nipitaron, Niftar Lanu, Dome Lo.
The dream was according to the interpretation that was given it and similar to it. It means the interpretation of the dream which Yosef told them fitted in very well into the dream itself. In other words, what he was pointing out over here is that each person, the dream which he dreamed was very fitting to the interpretation that Yosef afterwards dreamed about, told them how to interpret the dream. So this is really a word of praise, really, for Yosef. Meaning, he's saying that we dreamt a dream that eventual interpretation fitted in very well to the dream itself.
I thought we said yesterday that the interpretation of the dream, when you speak the words of interpreting the dream, that actually makes the dream what you interpreted.
Correct, that is very true. But it has to be, obviously there's something that a person, you can't just interpret a dream which is absolutely disconnected to the dream. There has to be, the interpretation has to fit into the dream, but it can for instance, it can be adapted a number of ways. I'm just trying to think of an example. I mean, you have actually in the Gemara and Brachos, you have a number of examples. We mentioned yesterday Bar Hedya was this dream interpreter. Both Abaya and Rava had exactly the same dream. And for Abaya he interpreted one way, and for Rava he interpreted a different way.
This is Brachos, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Okay? So the Maisa, you see over there that it was exactly the same dream, but Bar Hedya, according to the way he manipulated it, he interpreted one way for Abaya that it should be good for him, and one other way for Rava that should be bad for Rava. So you see, it was the same dream, but there were two different ways of interpreting. Okay? Pasuk Yaakov.
Yaakov, right. So, the Shabi Tanana Ivri. With us there was a lad, a Hebrew. Ever Lesar Hatabachim, a slave of the chief executioner. And a Saper law.
Chief butcher. Okay, I'm not sure actually what's his...
Yeah, could be two, yeah.
What did he butcher?
Butchered meat, butchered
animals
people.
as well.
Yeah.
You take off the heads, no? No, it's a Sabbath Tabachim.
No, tabach is, it could be just as well... It could, what? It means
Tabach is to take off the heads, no?
I don't know, he was the king's butcher. It doesn't have to be he was the king's executioner. Maybe he was just... Maybe he didn't differentiate between human and non-human...
I just like to cut.
yeah, right, exactly, I don't know.
I thought he was head of the intelligence security, the Potiphar. So that's why it would
not
be...
the Potiphar. This is... I'm sorry. This is not Potiphar anymore. He's no longer by Potiphar. He's afterwards been sent into prison and he's in charge by the Sarah Tabachim. Okay?
he's the executioner of the jail.
Yeah, you're right.
What?
Pashtusim actually means you're right, he was in jail, means the chief executioner. That's Pashtus, okay?
Right.
Then the Sapeloi,
We told him about our dreams.
right?
The way of Ta Lanu et Halamtenu, and he interpreted our dreams.
Halomotenu.
Ish kahalamo patah. He interpreted each man's dream accordingly.
Right.
Right.
Meaning,
So
as it's fitted into the dream, that's what
Right.
she's going to explain.
Na'ar Ivri Avan.
Evet.
Evet. A lad, a Hebrew, a slave. Arorim Harshaim.
Right,
May the evil people be cursed.
Right.
She'ein tovachtam shlema.
Shlema.
For even the good they do is imperfect.
Shemas kiro
Bilashon bizayon.
bizayon.
He mentions him in a disparaging terms.
Derogatory.
Right, derogatory terms.
Yeah. Na'a, a lad. Shote, implying that he is a fool.
Ve'ein
Ve'ein
ro'eh
ra'ul
l'gdula.
l'gdolah, and is not fit for greatness. Ivri, a Hebrew. Afilu l'shonenu eino makir. He does not even know our language.
Right, he's a foreigner.
Eved, a slave. Vakatub, Sosei,
Musei
Mitzrayim,
Mitzrayim.
and is written in the laws of Egypt. She'ein avar molech, that a slave can never rule. V'lo lebesh migdei sarim, nor dress in princely clothes. Each,
okay.
each,
Now, it's very interesting this.
Paro was a slave.
1 second. Paro has a bad dream, okay? He now needs an expert interpreter of dreams to follow. Now, why should it be any Havamina that this interpreter of the dream should now become viceroy or have a high ministerial position or any noble position? I mean, I can understand the Paro wants to thank this interpreter for things, so he'll give him, I mean, those are English, like in England you give him an MBE or something like that, right? OBE, which is like one of the lower honors, right? But you won't become a sir or a lord for that sort of thing. So why is Rashi seems to be saying is, when the Sar Mashkim described Yosef, he's saying, if you ever have any Havaminas of making him viceroy or making him a prince or something like that, just forget it. He's not fitting for it. Who's talking about it?
They're putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, exactly.
How do they
But
know?
that's what Rashi says. Now, Shoita ve'enu roy ligdula. It's not fitting for greatness. Who's talking about greatness? We're talking about interpreting a dream for the moment. And same thing, every afilu shenenu makil, that's it. Eved v'kosim nusim say, ain't Eved moilech. Let me speak this, sorry. Who's talking about him become ruling or putting on princely clothing? He's doing a job of interpreting the dream. It seems that the Sar Mashkim was aware of Yosef's talents. And he knew...
Right. And the Pharaoh, being a very discerning guy, the more things you say that sound negative, the more you realize that
there's something behind this guy.
The Tsar is concerned about his position.
Right. Okay, whatever, right. His own position doesn't make a difference. But you see that the Sar Mashkim realized that if Yosef is going to be in a position to, he's going to be allowed into the king's palace and to say what he wants to say, he's got tremendous potential there. Right? Therefore, he wanted to put him down and say, this guy's got...
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
got any ideas, not the one.
And if he performs well, it's all the more... See, that's it. The Pharaoh taking that into consideration, all the negative things against him, when he came in and he passed the test with flying colors, he said, I think we got a comer here.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
And besides that, if it doesn't work out, we can always blame the fact that he's a Hebrew and get rid of him quickly.
Okay.
And he calls have you got the Rashi?
Right.
Standard practice.
Have you got the Rashi where it says, my Rashi at the footnote, it says that the butler called him a lad. In fact, he wasn't a lad. Yosef was 30 years old at the time.
Correct.
So belittling him again.
Right. It's interesting that sometimes because we find that when Yitzchak Avinu was 37 years old, that's when he had the kid, he was also called a Nar. Aniva Nar Ne'elchad Kol. It's very interesting. I didn't see in the Mefoshim how they explain that, why the expression Nar is used over there. But anyway,
it says with the other two, when it says Nar, it means like the image.
We had it at the beginning of Parshas Vayeshev. It says, "V'hu Nar es b'nei v'lo b'nei Zilpa," and he was 17.
Right.
And Rashi says over there, why does he use the Lashon Nar? Because he was behaving in a childish way, an immature way. Right? So that I can understand. But here, as you say, he wasn't a Nar, he was 30 years old.
But to show what you're just saying,
right.
Put him down. Put him down.
Okay.
So Nar is always an immature person who acts in a childish way?
That's the connotation.
But how actually Yitzhak won't be 37, immature, maybe to the world, not knowing a bit more.
I don't know.
That's a bit derogatory with regard to Yitzhak. Maybe he was a bit kept at home with his dad under control.
No, it has a different connotation whatsoever. I'm not sure what it is, but I don't know. But it's different. Okay, Ishkachalamoy. Let's finish the last bit of the Rashi here. Each man according to his dream.
Each man according to his dreams. Kachalomo means according to the dream. The Karov, they're approximate to its contents.
Right, meaning it fitted in again, as we said, it fitted well into the dream. Okay? Yoni, Pasuk Yud Gimel.
Okay, so ויהי כאשר פסק לנו כן היה הוסיף השיב על Alkane, Voso, Alkani, Voso, Salah. So that's and it was when it was when
it was Kasher as.
Oh, and is he
as he had interpreted for us.
Interpreted the dream for us. So it was. So it came out.
Yes, so it was. Osi mi Heshiv al Kani. He returned.
He returned on.
Al Kani to my position.
He returned me to my position. And the baker obviously also Taleh.
Tola, he was hanged. So he hung.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, let's see Rashi here.
No doubt there.
Now Rashi's bothered by the expression over here. It doesn't say who. Who returned him to his position? Osi Heshiv al Kani. Doesn't say who. So Tola, he, I mean the baker, Tola, he hanged. Who's he? Okay, Rashi's going to say that. This is not Rashi mentions this in a number of places. Heshiv al Kani. Who was that? Paroi.
He says Paro did it.
Hanizkar Lamala. Paro was mentioned before. Because it says that the Saramashkin was telling of the story that Paro got angry with his servants and he put me in jail with the Beisasar Tavochim, Oisi Besar Oifim. Okay? And then, so now referring back to him, Oisi Heshiv al Kani, me he returned to my position, and him he hanged. Okay? Paroi Haniska Lamala. Moshe Omar Paroi, Moshe Omar, as he said, Paroi Kotzav al Avodah. Whereas Paro was the first subject mentioned at the beginning of the whole story. So, Kotzav got angry with his servants. Hare Mikra Kotze. Okay, this is a abbreviated pasuk. Loshin, Kotze Loshin, sorry, abbreviated expression. Velo Perish Mi Heshiv. The pasuk doesn't state explicitly who was the one who returned him to his position. Why? If he ain't Sarach Lefarish Mi Heshiv. Doesn't need to explain, to state explicitly who was the one who put him back in his position. Who was that? Misha B'yada Lahashiv. The one who has in the power, who's in the position to do so. Who Para, and that must be Para. V'chein derech kol mikrois ktsorim. Similarly, so is the way of all psukim, abbreviated or terse psukim which have a terse language. Al misha olav lasos hem seis minesador. Anybody who is self-understood, who's going to do the action, the Torah doesn't say explicitly who it is. If it's self-understood, it's unnecessary to mention who the one who did the action. And on the contrary, if it's self-understood and the Torah does mention who it is, the Torah mentions it for a specific reason. Okay.
Who else had the power to do it?
Right, so that's what it says. Wherever it's self-understood, the Torah doesn't need to actually mention who does it. Rashi mentions this in a number of places in the Torah. Okay, next, Yisrael Meir.
Yishlach Paro person Vayikros Yosef and called Yosef by Ritzu Minabone took him out.
And you know, by Ritzu, he hurried him. The Russian rats, man. He hurried him from the pit. Galach, he shaved.
When he changed his clothing, Loyal Paro came to Paro.
Okay. Now Rashi's first question is, what do you mean Habor, from the pit? Okay, so Rashi is going to explain, what is the bor? That doesn't mean actual place. Normally a bor, as we had in La Pashas Vayoshev, is a place where there's is a well, pit or whatever, where there's water. And even if not necessarily water the whole year round, but at least water in the end of the winter, during the rainy season, and then afterwards, even the summer, it dries up. But it's still damp there. It's a place where water is held. So Rashi's saying over here, no, that's not the meaning of it. Min habor, from the prison. Shu osu ke'ein guma. It was made in like a hole in the ground, what we call a dungeon. Okay. V'chein kol bar shebamikra. Right. Similarly, every expression, any term of bar used in the Torah and Scripture, loshin gumahu. It's the expression of a hole. in an underground hole. The up in Eimbo Mayim, even if there's no water there, Kori Boil, nevertheless it's still called a boil. Hushi Belas. That's if Rashi brings again a French word. It seems like all of a sudden here in the case, Rashi's doing a lot of translating.
He went the French word.
Right. Okay. Next Rashi. Vayigalach.
Vayigalach.
Shaved.
Right,
out of respect for the king. Now it's interesting. First of all, Rashi only mentions it on the word Vayigalach. It doesn't say it on the next word Vayichalef Simloisam. He changed his clothing. And also another thing is, why does Rashi have to? I mean, the isn't a koshet. The reason why he's
why did he cut his hair for 10 years?
Well, obviously, maybe he had, but now he's specialist. Now he's going to come before the king. So I would, even Rashi hadn't mentioned anything. I would have assumed that's poshet. They rush him out of the prison, out of the dungeon. So now, when he's ready to come to the king, he shaves and changes his clothing.
Right, we learn from this that it's a mitzvah. I'm sorry, it's only what I read. First of all, it's a mitzvah. I don't know if it's one of the 16, 13 mitzvahs, but it comes in Mordechai, the king Achashverosh tells Haman to pray him to come and see him. You know, when they find out who's the person he's going to honour. So when you meet a king, you have to go out of your way to cut your hair. I'll tell you about cutting his hair.
Right, the Mordechai also, that's right.
Yeah, so that's the same idea that you go out to respect when you dress yourself. It's a mitzvah. I don't know if it's a mitzvah one of 613, but you should dress your, accordingly. Cut your hair.
Right.
And another thing, somebody asked about cutting your hair. One of the first persons it says was like Shimshon, or Shimshon, a person who
was a Nazir, right?
He was the first Nazir.
Was he the first one? I don't know.
One of the first ones, yes. According, it says because he didn't cut his hair because he abstained. No, sorry, I'm awfully sorry, I got mixed up. Sorry, he abstained from wine. Right. So he's like a Nazir. Sorry, because the vow
he was actually he was a Nazir. He was a certain type of Nazirus, different from all others.
I beg your pardon, yes.
And normally a Nazir is only a Nazir for as long as he accepts upon himself the period of being a Nazir.
So back to the haircut.
Shimshon, he was ordained to be a Nazir from birth.
Right. Yeah.
And therefore he was always, for his whole life, he was a Nazir.
Yeah.
So and the halacha is that the Nazir is not allowed to shave his hair.
That's right. So somebody raised a point about well, in prison you're not allowed to use knives. I presume. So
I assume.
Scissors, so
how long was Yosef in prison?
Was it 2 years, 10 years?
12 years.
12 years. He was going to be 10, and he had to do the extra 2 years.
Right. So he was 12 years in prison. Yeah. I don't believe that for 12 years he didn't shave his hair at all.
Well, I would believe in Egyptian prison. You wouldn't be allowed to.
Because they put him in charge of the other.
Yeah,
it was the.
It wasn't like Pollard, you know.
Did he take an order not to shave until he was freed? I heard there's a measure.
Sorry?
Yosef Hatzana took a nether, he would not shave and take a haircut until he was freed.
Could be, that's possible, but Rashi seems to say differently because Mepnei Kvod HaMalchus. So he's saying that he shaved. So I wanted to explain.
But why did he shave for 10 years?
I don't know. I'm not sure. So I understood two things. There's two possible ideas of it. Chazal say, on what day did Yosef come out of prison? Rosh Hashanah. Right? Now, as we know, all the others kept the Torah before it was given. So how can you shave on Rosh Hashanah?
Because you kept the Torah.
Oh, so Rashi Mekavei V'Hei Malchus. And that's why Rashi doesn't mention it. There's no problem of changing clothes on Rosh Hashanah. That wasn't a problem of doing the question, but the problem is how could he let himself be shaved? Right? So Rashi said Mekavei V'Hei Malchus. That's one teretz I had to explain. Another pshat is Al-Maisim is probably the way the Egyptians shaved. It's also forbidden. We're not allowed to use a razor. And obviously there was probably the way the Egyptians, in order the de rigueur way of appearing before a king.
They didn't have electric shavers then?
What?
They didn't have electric shavers.
They had their own kind of Remington, you know. Yeah. Anyway, so the Maisa, they were going to shave him with a proper razor. Right? So how did he let himself be done? The answer was, because otherwise Mekavei V'Hei Malchus. Okay?
Even his beard was shaved or something?
I don't know. It seems, and all the pictures you have of ancient Egypt, you have them these No, with straight beards, no?
In the story,
they did shave over here.
in the story, the brothers couldn't recognise him because he had the beard, but he must have grown after. If you remember, the brothers...
Yes, it's true.
But that obviously came late, he regrew it.
Yeah, but obviously also, it was probably the kind of beard which he had was more Egyptian style beard.
Stuck on?
I don't know what stuck on, but it was an Egyptian style beard, not a Yaakov Avinu style beard. Okay.
No, but there's a very beautiful expression by Yachalo Chalif Molosov. Why did he change his call of Machas? There are people who are critical when they see people wear a special uniform, they daven, okay? They wear a hat, they wear this and that. So the answer that I've been taught, if Yosef outside just for the king had changed to put a nice clothing, so we have should we have a special clothing?
100%.
So
for Shabbat as
this
well.
is the makar for that.
Right,
we should dress for we dress for the king. And look, we should, when we go to shul, that's why we should dress to be prepared.
Yeah, this is the source over here.
Right, and you see, when you come before a king,
King of Kings. King of
but the point I was answering is, okay, it's a very good point. Why Rashi only says it on the words, why Galach, only on the words he shaved. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying, either because it was Rosh Hashanah, also because of the issue of shaving like the Egyptian shave, that's why he mentions over here. Okay, next, Shlomo. Pasuk Tes Vav. Vayomer Paro Yosef.
Vayomer Paro El Yosef. Shalom chalamti u'oter in otach. Ve'ani shemati alecha le'mor et tishma chalom neftor oto. So it sounds the same thing twice.
Right.
Pharaoh said to Joseph, okay, the dream, a dream I dreamed, and I need you to interpret it.
For innocent, there is no
there is no one else.
Interpretation for it.
There's no one else to interpret it.
Right.
And I heard that
about
you saying that you would hear the dream and interpret it.
To interpret it.
Right.
You just merely have to hear the dream and you
would just have to.
Right. That you hear just means to hear, but it means to explain over here. It doesn't mean just to hear. It means to listen to the dream, to understand the dream, to be able to interpret it.
But Tishma Chalom is that a generic that you have the ability to hear dreams and to. It wasn't specifically referred
to. Right, it wasn't this one time.
So rather than
Yeah, it's interesting. You make an interesting point because normally, grammatically, you wouldn't normally use this form, Tishma Chalom, right? Because you would say,
Shemea.
Right, Shemea, right? Use the present tense. Here it uses a future term.
So he really thought that he was in the business of being a micro-announcer type of person.
Okay, he's making a good grammatical point. I don't know. Okay, let's see the Rashi.
Okay, Tishma Chalom Neftor Oto. Okay, that you would be able to interpret my dream.
Tishma Chalom, you can hear a dream, you have to interpret it. So what do you mean? Rashi says Tishma doesn't mean to hear. Tazim, you listen.
That you would listen and you understand
a dream
and
to interpret
it. Okay, and it says again, Tishma Lashon, that you would hear.
Lashon Havana. Tishma means expression of
language
of understanding.
Of understanding.
Hazana
and listening. Like
Shemea Yosef
hears.
Right, Yosef means, it says later that the brothers didn't know Ki Shemea Yosef, that Yosef, now obviously it doesn't mean hearing. Because for sure he could hear, right? Ki Shemea means he was listening, right, and understanding what they were saying. That's one example.
That you would not hear
its language.
Its language.
Right, which means, it doesn't mean we don't hear its language, it means you don't understand its language. If we talk about a nation, the Tirchach and Parshas Kisave, it says, Goy asher lo tishma l'shoneh. A nation that you do not literally hear its language. Doesn't mean you hear, it means you don't understand its language. And what? Entendre.
Entendre, yeah.
And
That's a
it's
French
the-
word.
yes,
It's
it's
made modern French is also.
Right.
Entendre is to listen.
Listen, but it means doesn't just to hear, it means to listen. To listen means to
Lahavin.
right, lahavin, to understand.
Entendre.
Entendre.
It's in modern French too.
Right.
Pay
Yeah.
attention.
Right.
Attention.
Okay, now one
Everybody
more.
speaks French? You speak French also?
Un petit peu. Okay.
Everybody speaks French?
Maybe.
Okay.
Richard speaks French.
You
too.
guys,
You speak French?
Shlomo, I guess you came from the wrong side of Albany. Anyway,
I should have come from the north side, it's closer to the Canadian border.
Okay.
The people up there do speak.
Where you go?
okay,
Orleans,
let's
New
go to
Orleans.
Pasuk
Okay.
Tet
Patois.
Vayan,
ויען יוסף את פרעה לאמור ילדיי, אלוהים יענה את שלום פרעה.
okay, let's translate. Yan, Yosef answered Paro, saying, Biladai, it's not me. Biladai, it's beyond me. It's not. I am not got power to interpret dreams. Elokim Yan Eshlem Paro. God will answer the welfare, will give you an answer, will, shall we say, will provide me with an answer for the welfare of Paro.
Why don't you Shalom? Shalom. Why should he'll give me the answer?
Yeah, that's
you
an
know,
interesting point. Why wasn't the Shlem Paro?
Maybe it could go bad. Dreams can have two sides.
I guess he wants to, but he's not going to tell Paro now, by the way, I'm going to tell you the thing, but it's going to be bad for you.
That's not a good.
That's not going to sell.
Doesn't work.
But anyway, the point is, it's
you
very
never tell
interesting.
power, you think of man.
You see amazing thing over here. Lemaisa, technically at this point, what could Yosef could have said? Do you know what to do? He said, yeah, I think Hashem gives me Sata Deshma and I'll be able to answer, you know, and able to interpret it. So he could have answered that way.
Wait, that one.
But so now you thought, it sounds as if he's like burning his bridges here. He said, no, it's not me. And God gives me, instills in me wisdom that I'm able to answer, but it's not really my own thing. So it looks to sound he's like blowing it, meaning, at what best could Yosef have expected this point? He wasn't expecting to become viceroy. He was expecting to come out of prison. So the all she have done is this: listen, best, you know what? I become Paro's resident dream interpreter. Right, this way will get me out of jail. And fine. So the Chayra, he should have at least normally wouldn't have understood. He tried to sell himself as a good dream interpreter. But had he done so, right, he would have got out of jail, but he wouldn't become viceroy. The point is, since he said, no, I'm God's man, and that's not me, it's not my own koichos b'chlal, I'm just an agent of God. Ooh, I heard that. He said, wow, you know what? I need God's agent here.
What about Anibas? He was showing that he was a humble person.
Right.
If he said, I'm an arrogant, oh yeah, I know everything, I'm an arrogant.
Right.
Pharaoh said,
I don't need these kind of guys around me, because I'm arrogant enough. I don't need that.
I think he learned to curb his arrogance after 12 years in jail.
Yeah, I guess so.
After the trouble with his brother.
Okay, we'll have to stop here. There's a shame.
Very nice. You never gave me your food today. Nice.